Hello, beautiful souls. Yes, we got some crazy morning hair. We've got blue skies and sunshine shining directly in my eyes, into my pineal gland, and as much skin as I can get it in. It's probably about 40 degrees or so, but when I'm in the direct sunlight and I'm blocked by the wind, excuse me, it is warm. So, hello, how are you? How are you doing? I am here to have a conversation because journaling, when it's going to be about journaling, and recommending if you are not journaling to maybe start journaling, whether it's in your phone, pen to paper would be ideal, and just journaling things in specific of things that are coming up through your day, maybe names that are coming up during meditation or energy practices or while you're walking, just like these simple downloads that you think that are nothing when they're actually messages or signs or synchronicities or key codes, they're activations, they're remembrances, and you forget, right? That's what happens. We forget. So I've been journaling, like I said, since I received my first journal in October 2024. It feels like forever ago, and basically haven't stopped since. And the process started out really slow. I've mentioned that many times. And then I just started writing things down, like names or downloads or colors of things or senses and knowings of different things coming into awareness, whether that's right before sleep, right before waking up, meditation, dreams, things that happen through the day. And this week I've been really reflecting back on the journals from April and May, because that time was very, very significant in my awakening process. Get the squirrels here some peanuts, and I just going back, and it's fascinating, and just the remembering of what I was going through at this time last year. Like I said, I had a lot of healing work done, doing my own personal healing work, but having assistance from practitioners like past life regression, somatic massage, intuitive massage, lots and lots of meditation at that time, from the beginning of January until April of. I still meditate, but it became like a practice, a spiritual exercise practice versus like exercising, if you know. And so I'm encouraging you that if you are not to start journaling, or if you put it in your phone, maybe put it pen to paper, just to see, right? Because you solidify these things into the field, right, from just the conscious mind, and put it down. So like I said, reflecting back onto specific dates and times, and writing things, and you just don't remember. And if I hadn't journaled it, I wouldn't have remembered certain things. There's certain specific key notes that I still remember, because those are really to the forefront of this awakening process. One is, this time last year, I was really, really sick because I was cleansing and I was purging. Like I said, I had Reiki sessions. My awakening started. My third eye had opened. I had past life regression, which brought through past lives of being unalived through the throat chakra. And if you know, a lot of us have been unalived for speaking our truth, standing in our truth, living in our authenticity, and usually unalived by like I said, throat chakra based stuff. All right. And so it's very important to have that recognition and that connection. And I almost forgot, like I said, without the journaling, I wouldn't have remembered, oh, that's right, I had this session done, or I experienced this, or this happened during meditation, and different things came through. And then what happened shortly after that is I ended up with and I don't get sick. I keep a very, as much as possible, clean, detoxified vessel. Again, I'm imperfectly human and perfect in all of its messy, magical ways. But again, the system goes through stages of purging and detoxing, so I keep my detox pathways open as much as possible. All right, so it's important to remember that. All right, so I had a massive lower and upper respiratory infection. All of the upper chakra systems were getting purified and cleansed from any past life residue, this life residue, all of that. And I wouldn't have remembered like that connection if I hadn't said, okay, I noted I had this past life regression, this is what happened, I had this meditation, this is what came through, I had this somatic massage experience, and this is what happened, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So by just going through and reflecting, and I don't get called to reflect back on what I've journaled typically, Sometimes I'm called to bring it forward because I didn't start hitting record until November. So this is way well before November of last year. And I was able to make that correlation. But again, why am I guided to speak today? One is to journal. Being asked to journal, to keep track of things, the codes, the signs, the synchronicities, the things like 711, 111, 911, 1111, 1010, 17, 222. These are codes, right? 322, 211. But what took place was when I was going through the thick of this, like, started, like getting really frustrated. Like my ego, my spiritual ego was still kind of trying to really figure things out instead of feel into what was actually taking place. And I've learned really well through this process to quit trying to figure out, to surrender, to continue to trust, to have faith in the things that are in the unseen, in the unknown, and in the path that is not fully in my awareness. Okay. And I'm here to remind you of that, because your ego is going to get you caught up in this frustration. And the way I heard this best described here a few weeks ago is a lot of people are going to be going through this cocoon phase. You've heard that many times, this metamorphosis, this transformation. But the way she described it was, there's going to be moments where you're literally peeking out, like you're in the cocoon, you're in the void, you're in the nothingness, right? The dark night of the soul. You're in this isolation state. But there are going to be times, through this healing process where you like peek out of the cocoon and you kind of see what's going on and seeing where you are in this world at that point, and then you kind of go back in. It's an expansion and contraction. And I thought that was brilliant, because that's the best way I can describe. So it's not like, maybe some people just go in the cocoon and they come out and now they're completely in their purpose, doing their thing. Things have completely transformed and evolved, blah, 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 all of that. Mine felt like this emerging, this peaking at times, and then going back in and then peaking. Okay. And one of my mentors that I've seen before, 707 on the timer, who works in past life regression, I've seen him a couple different times in 2018. And then last year, again, right before all of this purging came up, I had these healing practices, and if I can remember to tie back that in, and why you end up sick, which is purging, is detox. Your body's detoxing lifetimes, not just this lifetimes of junk, residue, garbage. All right. Was verbalizing this. I think it was in a Reiki share. It was shortly before everything just kind of flooded open, and ended up really sick for like 3 to 4 weeks, like completely down and out. I couldn't meditate because I couldn't breathe. I had a hard time being still. I couldn't consume food. I couldn't keep anything down that would taste good. Nothing sounded good. I was exhausted. I could barely get outside as much as possible. I had no energy to walk. Sleep was a challenge. Like, there was just a whole lot of stuff going on. And right before all that took place, or somewhere right at the beginning, he said, you're in the void. And I like to bring this forward because, like I said, if I have knowledge and awareness around that, I'm able to navigate it a little easy. And I'm going to tell you, it's not challenging. I'm not going to say that, because that would be bypassing. There is challenge to this, but it's also, in that challenge, you're learning to surrender to the present moment. And if that present moment is just nothing, you have to surrender to the nothing. The distractions don't work, or the distractions are going to feel like nails on a chalkboard, In this void space, you're being asked to literally surrender and not distract, and not to numb, and not to hide, and all of that stuff that your past versions of yourself would. And he said, you're in the sacred void. I said, what? He goes, you're in the void. I said, I've heard the cocoon stage, but this is just this sacred void. I've also coined or heard it say like this 0 point space, this no thing, this blackness, this darkness, this isolation. So I've many ways, like the beginning cocoon stage, that dark night of the soul. So it's the void. And I'm like, when he said void, that literally helped me just kind of surrender just a little. I'm telling you, it wasn't fully not challenging, because it was a challenging time, but I was meant to go through and experience that in that moment. I learned to become more present with how shitty I felt, how everything was happening. And I knew this was I knew it was a massive purge and a detox. I knew I was being cleansed and cleared so things can be upgraded, elevated, activated, and recalibrated. All right. So some of you might be going into this void space, or you feel like you're in this void space and you're confused and you're not sure what's going on, and you're like, you want some confirmation or some answers. Well, this is it. So if I'm landing here, maybe that'll help clarify some stuff, that you are in the perfect place, whether you might not, your ego is trying to convince you otherwise. You're in the 0 point space. You're in a sacred pause. You're in a nothing. Like in the Zen Tarot, the nothingness card is literally just a card that's just blacked out. All right, you're in the dark night of the soul. You're in the void. You're in the underworld. Thank you, Source. You're in the underworld. You're going within the depths of the depths, in to do that shadow work, into that dark night. And I think if you have awareness around that, it makes a lot easier to navigate with awareness. That's why I think a lot of us are here now, here guided to share our stories for other people that are now starting to go through it, or kind of just starting to go through it, or have gone through it, and they can make some connections to that specific time and space, is that this is necessary part of this ascension process, this awakening journey, right? We can't go from 0 to 10, and sometimes it is a process. And so it's this void space, this sacred pause, the dark night, the beginning of this cocoon phase, this isolation phase, this sacred pause, this 0 point space. You also might feel like, maybe like I just mentioned earlier, like you feel like you've been in the cocoon for a while, like I have been, like 18 months, 2 years now, fuck me. And it's like you peeking out, and you might go out into the world for a little bit, and then you come in and you're like, feel like something's coming, something's out there, my manifestations are coming in, and then fuck, you're like, no. You end up going back in, there's more work that needs to be done, or you just feel frustrated, and you just feel like because you're so clear feeling like I am, or clear knowing, like you just know, but nothing is changing. All right, and that can be very frustrating as well. I had this moment in purging last night, crying, and it's like, it feels like my entire life, everything, those that have been in my life, which I don't have many, those that have been in my life, feels like everything kind of works out in their favor in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying things haven't worked out in my favor, because I'm always provided for. I have the things, I have a car, I have a phone, I have a roof over my head, I have all of the stuff that I'm provided for. But sometimes there's like, because my soul knows that there's more, because my soul, my future self has been giving me glimpses and just knowings that this isn't it. But it's also frustrating, because it's like, what is the shift going to be? When is it's again trying to surrender to the not knowing, in the who, the what, the where, the why, the when. And that's also part of this process, in this void space, in this nothing space, in this isolation phase, in this cocoon phase. So I'm here to remind you that it is, I know, I feel you, I see you, I am you, you are me. I've been through this myself, and I can speak upon it, and I could probably talk about this for a long conversation. So I'm here to remind you, you're safe, you're protected. And if you're feeling like, the more deeply connected you get with your higher self, with Source herself, with the universe, with your spiritual team, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, ask for the comfort. I've learned to ask for a lot of help. Like at the beginning, what I know now, like you say, I wish I knew then what I know now. Like that's just, we've always said that. And I wouldn't change anything, but I said, if the one thing I wish I knew more of was to call in more help, because I was in this space, and then laying in bed just wrapped me up tight with all this compassion, this comfort, this peace, because I was in a space, like, and I was crying and frustrated and all of the stuff. And it's just, and it's hard to explain, because there's certain people in my awareness where things just happen for them, like they're manifesting generators, whether they realize it or not. And I'm like, fuck. Then you feel like, am I doing something wrong? You're not doing something wrong. It's just, it's not. But for me, this is apparently one of the things my soul contracted as part of this learning process and this expansion process. And it does get frustrating when not even like a little bit of a break shows up, or a little bit of manifestation shows up. So I am here to remind you, yes, I feel you, I know you, I see you, I validate what you're going through. Not that that's necessary, but I validate whatever that is you're going through, because I've been through it. You know, and we still all go through it. We're not all perfectly healed, but you just get really good at moving through that, transmuting the energy, recognizing, having the awareness of it. So when you have the awareness of it, you can address any root issues, you can be in it, you can feel it, because that's where we're here, to feel it, feel through it, not try to figure it out. So I had to just go into feeling it and crying it out and just being in that that uncomfortable frustration, that anger, that whatever it is, cry and just feel through it. And I feel a little better today so far. So we will see how the day goes. Remember, you just kind of, and again, just ask for all of the support. Don't ask for a little bit. Ask for like 1,000 angels to wrap you in comfort and love and support. And again, knowledge and wisdom, it's power, it's empowerment. It's powerful to know this. And again, and having awareness around that really helps you move through it with a little bit. I'm not saying it's not going to be uncomfortable or challenging. I'm saying it just helps you move through each now present moment with a little more ease and grace. And again, the other key is quit trying to be patient, quit trying to figure it out, but be present. 2 things Source wants me to bring through. The 2 key codes here, all right, is we're surrendering, all right, but we're done trying to figure it out or fix it, because you're not broken. We're not figuring out or we're not fixing it, okay? And you surrender and you feel through it. And I just lost like the flow that just came through. I wanted, it was going to come out, so it's already in there. Okay, so we're learning to quit trying to figure it out or fix it, and we're here to feel through it. Feel it and feel through it and surrender to it. Feel through it, feel it, and surrender to it. Because that's part of the human experience, is feeling through these uncomfortable moments that we're all going through. I promise you, we're all going through, and more people are waking up every single moment. Thank you, going back to presence. You're here to be more present and quit trying to be patient. So it's not about being patient, it's about being present. All right, so we're learning to quit trying to figure it out and be patient, or to fix anything, because that's not necessary. What you need to learn to do is be more present and feel through it. And the more present you become, the more ease and grace starts taking place. All right, we got an airplane and a car of significance. Things are firing up. So this is just a reminder. You were supported. Call in your team members. All right, 1717, my beautiful starseeds. We've got this. Just keep getting up and dusting yourself off and taking those baby steps. Even if it's just a small thing, every now present moment. Be present with the chipmunks, be present with the trees, be present with the air, the wind, the earth, the water, the fire. Stare into a flame, connect to Mother Gaia, connect to the elementals, connect to the nature, because nature is going to be your best therapist. All right, nature is going to be your best therapist, okay? And Source, get out in the sunshine as much as possible. What song just came in? I think it was the Aquarius song. Sunshine, the like just a little bit of the maybe Age of Aquarius just came through. So go listen to Age of Aquarius. I'm going to listen to that because that just downloaded for some reason. All right, I love you from my heart to yours. I'll see you soon. Bye.